It was such a great script. You just don't read them that often.
What if the moon landing was a hoax? That's the question explored in the new film Fly Me to the Moon, a romantic comedy set against the backdrop of the Apollo 11 moon launch during the space race of the late 1960s. Producer and star Scarlett Johansson, who plays marketing specialist Kelly Jones, opened up to The Hollywood Reporter about how the film came to be.
So I have a production company called These Pictures, and we developed this story from an original idea like that we had within our company, and then we hired Rose Gilroy to write the script, and she did such a phenomenal job with the tone of it that when I read it, it was so entertaining. I loved the read so much that I couldn't not play the character of Kelly because it was so great. It was like I was thinking like who else could do it, and of course I have like many peers that are incredibly talented that could do it, and then I would just be jealous of them. And so I was like, I'm not gonna give this to somebody else.
Johansson's co-star Channing Tatum, who plays launch director Cole Davis, weighed in on what he felt made the film's script unique.
It's not a pre-existing IP, it's completely original, but it also has characters that really talk to each other. You know, the dialogue is really, really well done, and like the character, I guess, development without making it all sort of overwrought and like heavy. It keeps it light and fun, but yet keeping the drama and the dramatics intact.
Director Greg Berlanti also spoke about what made him want to helm the project.
I mean, it's not that often that I'm sent material that was, first of all, Scarlett was starring in it, she was producing, and she was throwing her weight behind a big budget, original drama, comedy, romance. You know, it had everything. And honestly, it reminded me of the kind of movies I used to go see every weekend as a kid that studios were making all the time then.
We can't afford to lose to the Russians. We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
Following the release of the film's trailer online, some conspiracy theorists further questioned the integrity of the real moon landing.
For both of you, what's your take on conspiracy theorists who have watched the trailer and said, oh, see, the moon landing is fake?
I'm so not a conspiracy theorist. I'm like very pragmatic, and I'm like, science, I believe in science. But you know, if that's like if people are watching the trailer and that's what they're taking, then I guess we're doing our job.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess there's part of me that goes, I don't care if it was or if it wasn't. Like, you know, it's so smart. If we faked it, I think that was probably one of the most like gangster moves that's ever been pulled on like the world, because it was just it was a race to the moon and we won, theoretically. But I think we went. I personally think we went. I think that the people that I talked to that actually were there, you know, like it's not like they could do that. They spent so much money. There were so many people involved that people really saw the rockets go up.
One of the reasons I was so excited to work on the film was NASA's involvement from the very beginning. And I think why NASA gave it their stamp of approval was they knew that even though we were taking a look at one of the OG conspiracy theories, that two things were happening. One, it's ultimately a movie about why the truth's important. And it's also a movie that celebrates, what was accomplished. It was arguably the greatest accomplishment of humankind at that moment, and probably still, and certainly the largest televised event, about it. And my hope is that when people see it's not so much what they think prior to the movie, but when they see the movie, that it encourages them to go, and that when they leave with a sense of like, wow, we did that.
Fly Me to the Moon flies into theaters July 12th. For more on the film, head to THR.com. For The Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Tiffany Taylor.